That is a terrible idea, and that's a terrible angle, oh my god. I think that's the worst video angle I've seen in my life. Hello guys, I'm gonna look like a fucking horror movie. It is times like this I wish I still had my mini tripod. Also the sound you can hear is because I'm on an airbed, so it's just very creaky, you know. I don't know if that even works. Hold on, let's try it. Oh god. That's awful. That's just awful. Ah! I think I found it, but this feels kind of awkward. This kind of feels like I'm not gonna say that, but this is kind of just feels a bit awkward, doesn't it? A little bit. I feel like I'm too far away. I feel like you can see too much of the bed. It looks a bit dodgy. Oh god. Hello guys, today is the Sunday the 25th of February 2024. I don't know why I'm making a video right now because I am so burnt out. But I also kind of feel like, oh, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not. No. Hello guys, you can see the laptop in the background. I am currently editing another video for Madalada Munden. Probably the video this channel is on. Sentences. Yeah, it will be. It's just way too silly to be a Madalada video, let's be real. But not even silly is the word I'm looking for. Disorganised. But I don't even know why I felt like filming. I just do. I just feel like talking, but I don't know who to talk to. We're not going to get too deep and personal, don't worry, but I have friends. I know, shocker. I know, shocker. Calm down, everyone, but I don't know, I just don't. Do you know when you want to talk, but you don't know who to talk to? And I was kind of honestly feeling like filming, even though I'm so burnt out. It's ridiculous because I had a weekend birthday do. Like, hang out. I invited so many people, only like 4 people turned up. But it was probably a blessing in disguise. I'm not crying because only 4 people turned up, it was lovely. I'm crying because I'm burnt out. I'm so burnt out. But I'm in this weird kind of mental state at the moment where, like, I get like this sometimes where I feel lonely, but I'm too burnt out to have actual company, but I'm lonely. Do you get what I mean? I wouldn't be able to handle hanging out with someone right now, but I'm also lonely, so you guys are my company. Because honestly, if I was to relax the social mask, and that is what my face would be like. But yeah, I should be unmasking right now, and I should be just taking time for myself and caring for myself and letting myself drop the mask. And I have done. But I watched a video on TikTok earlier, and oh my god. I've seen a lot of TikToks and videos and research myself. I've researched. I'm a bit of a research, like, I love research, basically. I love researching stuff. And I like understanding how I feel, and like I like understanding why I do the things I do. And I was also talking to my friend this weekend, and I'm not diagnosed, but I think I'm autistic, and it would make a lot of sense, to be honest, if I was autistic, because of a lot of the things I do. you know. I also think I have ADHD and I'm actually on the waiting list for ADHD, and that would also make a lot of sense for the way I act. I'm getting too hot and I'm feeling lightheaded. This is great. But it would make a lot of sense, you know, if I was already ADHD. I think that's how they call it. It's like AU ADHD, where they combine the two. I don't know. Autistic and have ADHD. That would make a lot of sense, because my brain is at war with itself constantly, and it is exhausting. Like, I cannot even begin to explain to you guys how many conflicting ideas and emotions I have in a day. Like, for example, right now, I am lonely. I feel really lonely and really, like, lonely. But at the same time, I am so burnt out that if somebody was to sit here right now and be like, hey Maddie, let's hang out, I'm so burnt out. I am too burnt out to bear their company. But I want company. But I'm too burnt out, because I know for a fact, I've done this before, I felt lonely, but I'm also burnt out, but I've been in somebody's company, and I can't enjoy their company because I'm too burnt out, and I feel worse, because my social battery is like gone, so I'm irritable, and I'm just like, I wish they would go away. But then also, I'm lonely, so I'm like, I wish someone was here right now, but I'm also too burnt out to appreciate the company. Do you see the problem here? Do you see what I mean? Like, that is conflicting. How can you be lonely and wanting company, but also, no thank you, everyone give me my space? That is two coexisting emotions right now, and it is really frustrating, and it is really upsetting, because, like, I am so burnt out, and I don't want company, but at the same time I'm here like, I feel so lonely and I want company, but also I don't want company because I'm burnt out, and it's like a circle, you know what I mean? It's like a circle. And like the social battery notion, oh my god, I don't think people that don't get it won't get what I'm about to say, and people that get it. A social battery, it's like, how do I explain this? It's important in social interactions, right? But I could have a critically low social battery but still be putting up a mask and still seem like I'm perfectly fine, but on the inside I am literally dying. And then there's other times where it's very obvious from an outside perspective that my social battery is gone because I'm snapping at people and I'm irritable and I'm like, leave me alone. But there's some times where my social battery's gone and you wouldn't be able to tell. And there's other times where you can tell it's gone. You know what I mean? If you know what social battery is. And yet it's not a literal thing, it's just like a term people use. And also, the annoying thing about that is that different people affect my social battery differently, and that can make me feel bad, because like, there are some people that drain it quicker, and it's not their fault. Like, and this is what makes me feel mean. It's not their fault, but I know that certain people I can only do certain things with, or it affects my social battery, and I feel so selfish because I'm like, I know I can't help it, I know you can't help it, but you're frying me out right now. You know what I mean? Or the other way round, like, I feel like I burn a lot of people's social batteries because I am quite overwhelming a lot of the time. And the annoying thing is, do you know when you do all the things that irritate you, but you can't help but do them because they're the things you do, but you know how irritating they are, but you still can't help it because it's you, but you know how irritating it is? Does that make sense? Like, a good example today was my brother, my little brother. He likes playing the same song over and over and over and over and over again. And that is so irritating, right? Hearing the same sound over and over and over again. But here's the kicker. I do the exact same thing. I was literally replaying the same song over and over and over and over again today. The same TikTok sounds over and over and over again today because they itch my brain right. But I've noticed it irritates me when I don't have control over them, which makes me sound like a nasty control freak, but do you get what I mean? It's like when I have control over what's happening, I feel calmer. But when I'm stuck in a situation where the same sound's playing and everyone's being really loud and everyone's talking at me and I'm like, oh my god, leave me alone. But then at the same time, I'm that person that will talk your ear off, be blasting music, have the same song on a loop, and it's the most frustrating thing ever because I'm so painfully self-aware of the fact that I'm such an annoying human being. I'm so annoying. I'm painfully aware of that. But at the same time, it's me. And I also like to think, without tooting my own horn, I like to try and be as understanding as possible about people because I hate being misunderstood. I'm misunderstood a lot. I feel like people don't really get me. And yeah, that's partly my fault because I do pretend a lot and I do pretend I'm okay when I'm not. And I do this thing where I'm a bit of a social chameleon. I will kind of, sort of like, it's my personality, but for example, okay, say I'm in a new social situation, I will be quiet. People know this about me. Everybody who's ever met me, like most of them, will probably say I was quiet at first, right? I was quiet, and I kind of gather the information. And by the way, I do this subconsciously. I'm not sat there going, right, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. My brain subconsciously gathers the information about people, and then when I feel like I know how to chime in and talk, I will then talk. And the people that, once you get to know me, they tend to say the same thing. I was like quiet as a mouse and then I don't shut the fuck up. And that's kind of what happens, right? But then there's people I've known literally my whole life, like family members, for example, and I will still be sat there like, they hate me, they hate me, they hate me, I'm annoying, I'm in the way, I'm a waste of space, they hate me, 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 oh my god, they hate me. Or I'll be like, oh my god, I've done something wrong, oh my god. And I have such a guilty complex, like, guilty complex, what's the word? A guilt complex. I feel guilty about the stupidest things, and even if I logically know that that's ridiculous to feel guilty about, I still feel the emotion, and I still feel like I'm in the wrong. And I have people I've known my whole life, and I will still be sat there like, how do I talk to you? What do you want from me, kind of? Like, how can I be accepted by these people that I've known my whole life? Maybe I'll say one thing wrong and you'll all hate me and disown me forever, and I'm just going to become this waste of space. I already am a waste of space, and I kind of just spiral. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm socially awkward, I'm socially anxious, but you know what I'm starting to realise? In a lot of the research I'm doing, I'm not a medical professional. I will state this, I am not a medical professional. This is my own opinions and personal experiences. This is my own opinions and personal experiences on my own experiences. Cool. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I feel like a lot of my social anxiety, I do have social anxiety, but I'm putting it in quotes and you'll see why. Okay, so a lot of my social anxiety, I honestly, the more I research into it, is probably just undiagnosed autism. Because a lot of it is me trying to fit in, and me trying to keep up, and me trying to not be... How do I explain this? I'm just trying. I'm just trying too hard, and I feel like I get on my own and I don't really know who I am, because I feel like I'm just constantly mirroring people and constantly trying to be good enough for people. And so when I get on my own, I'm like, who am I? And it's fake in the way of like I pretend a lot, but at the same time it's more like a social survival technique I picked up, you know, of being like no, and I have a massive fear of confrontation, and I have a massive fear of rejection, and that doesn't help. And I related to something someone said. They said that like there's a how to explain this? It's like your options of chat is how I'd explain it. And if you say the right words to people, they won't hate you. And obviously I have my own opinions and perspectives and feelings about stuff, but I'm also a massive people pleaser. And yeah, be true to yourself and be authentic and blah blah blah. But also, do you know how miserable I'd be if everyone hated me? Do you know what I mean? Do you know how scary that thought is? Or do you know how awful it is when someone's angry at you? And anger is an emotion I can't take in myself, and I can't take in other people. And it's one of those horrible emotions that I just hate so much. And I hate when I get angry. But the thing is, I have anger issues. I'm very good at hiding them, but I do have anger issues. And I hate that emotion. And when I get angry, I go through a cycle. I get angry, and then I get sad, and then I'm sad because I'm angry, but then I get angry because I'm sad, and it's this vicious cycle that is very hard to break out of. And that's why, if you make me mad enough, I will cry. Fun fact about me, I will just start crying if you make me angry enough. And I think it's me trying to release the emotion and failing miserably and getting overwhelmed. I hate the emotion of anger. It is awful. And I'm scared of being vulnerable. I mean, who isn't? Let's be real, we're all human beings. Who isn't scared of being vulnerable? And I feel like I have a lot of trust issues, but also at the same time I can be stupidly trusting. Like, there's no in between. I'm either completely walled off guarded, or I'm like way too trusting and then I get hurt. Or I'm way too walled off and I still get hurt because I've blocked you out. And then I'm like, oh wow, now we're distant. Great. That was my fault and my trust issues. But oh look, I was too trusting, and oh look, now I'm hurt. Honestly, I just feel like I can never win. This is kind of like, life is always difficult and everything's difficult, and I just feel like I can never win, and it is so draining and so frustrating, and I'm scared of happiness because every time I get happy, something destroys it. And I'm starting to realise that, like, my life is just extremes. Like, my emotions are all extreme. How I feel is just so extreme. Like, I either feel everything or I feel nothing. Like, numb. And it is insane. And I'm like, why is everything always so difficult? Why is everything complicated? I'm a massive overthinker, and I think a lot of it would be explained if I was autistic and if I had ADHD, because they are clashing things. They clash with each other. Needing routine but despising it because I feel trapped. The phases I go through, like stopping phases, but then the hyperfixations I have, like piercings and tattoos I could talk about till your ears would drop off with boredom. I just feel like it would explain a lot. The mood swings. I can go from being excitable, completely excited, to completely depressed in like seconds. I have meltdowns. I had a panic attack recently out of nowhere, and I think it was just a build-up of emotion. Honestly, I think if I was, it would explain an awful lot. And also with cerebral palsy, I have cerebral palsy if you're new here, by the way, but with cerebral palsy, that can also give me a higher chance of having autism and ADHD. And fibromyalgia is very largely linked to neurodivergency, and I have both cerebral palsy and fibromyalgia. And those are two medical conditions that are very well linked with autism and ADHD. A lot of people believe that fibromyalgia is just autistic burnout. And you know what? I am not a medical professional, so I cannot say for certain. But in my opinion, I'll say that again, in my opinion, that could make a lot of sense. Because it's the body getting overwhelmed. It's to do with the nervous system being dysregulated. And autism would definitely upset the nervous system, because it's like everything's heightened and sensory overload, and my stuff to certain textures, and it would make a lot of sense. My little sister had to cut tags out of my shirt yesterday because they were irritating me. It would make a lot of sense, you know, like a lot of the stuff would make a lot of sense. Because I have all these different things going on, but it would make sense if I was autistic and had ADHD. It would make sense. It would make so much sense. But obviously I'm not diagnosed. I've been on the waiting list for ADHD since I was literally like... The SD card got... What I was saying is on the waiting list since I was 19 years old. I'm really tired of my camera. Okay, I finished editing the video I was editing in the background. My camera battery went bad. I was already burnt out. You know when I fancied making a video, so I did. And now I'm annoyed that it cut out when I was in the flow of talking, and I'm just like, oh, I need to finish the video. Because I don't want to leave it unfinished, but also I'm like, oh, just wish I could just try and go to sleep, but I probably won't be able to shut off. I was just thinking about everything I could say, and now my brain's just blanking. But I've just noticed that, like, not just noticed, but I was thinking about it, about how the best way to describe how I am with like change and stuff is I'm better with change I can control. I'm horrible with change I can't control. Like when I was younger and my mum would like tidy my room, I would freak out. I still would, not even when I was younger. If someone came into my room and tidied it for me and cleaned it all up, I would freak the fuck out. And I'm 22 years old. I am literally 22 years old, and I know I would have a meltdown and cry because my stuff would be moved and it would be overwhelming and too much change at once. Whereas if I was to tidy my own room and clean my own room up, it's still overwhelming, but it's less overwhelming than someone touching all my stuff. And the reason I'm still sat on this airbed, even though my friend isn't here, is because I got it back out earlier because my friend packed it away, and then I got it back out. That made me jump. I'm so fucking tired. My friend got it packed away. My friend packed it away for me, kindly, and then I unpacked it because I was too tired and I wanted to go lie down, and I have a bed right there. My own bed is right there. But it was too overwhelming, the thought of taking all the teddy bears off and re-putting the pillowcase back on, and the thought of just getting my bed ready to sleep in was too overwhelming that I just was so tired. I just flopped down and tried to edit and then couldn't because I fell asleep and had an energy crash and fell asleep. And now it's still out because it's just overwhelming. It's a few teddies and a pillowcase, but it's just too Like, I want to do it. The annoying thing is, I'm staring at my bed, like, I want to just put the pillowcase on, take the teddies off, and get into my own damn bed. But I just can't bring myself to do it. And I think that's what they call, like, the paralysis, the decision paralysis. Not even decision paralysis. Where, like, you want to do it, but you just cannot bring yourself to. Even though it would be so comfy and make my life so much easier, it's just easier to me to just be on this bed. Be on this bed. Even though I don't need a double bed anymore. You know, my friend's gone. I could sleep in my own bed, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hope someone gets what I mean. But yeah, I was just thinking about how if I do have autism and ADHD, it would make a lot of sense. But the waiting lists are long, and it's overwhelming, the whole process, and it's taken years just to get the ADHD somewhat moving, and questionnaires and stuff. It's taken so long, and it's... Do you know, for like conditions, I'm going to call them conditions, maybe I'm wrong, but for conditions that people who get really overwhelmed and like overloaded, they make the process so hard. And for what? Like, it's like, ooh, these like people get overwhelmed easily, let's make this really complicated. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, it's like almost like going through the hoops to get diagnosed is like the worst nightmares. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's make this as difficult as possible. That sounds good. I'm sure it's not intentional, but it kind of feels like it, you know what I mean? Like, with all their knowledge of the conditions, why do they make it so hard? Why do they make it so hard? They're like, you need to earn a diagnosis. You need to jump through the hoops. But I don't know. I'm so burnt out. See, I'd have regretted not doing my little social event because I'm an overthinker and I'd have been like, oh, I should have done that. But also I'm so burnt out. I feel like my social battery needs a holiday. I need a holiday. But then saying that, holidays overwhelm me. Do you know that whole saying of like, you need a holiday for the holiday? I feel that. Because it shakes up everything. You know, it's so much change and so much stress and waiting around and a lot to take in and people and... Don't think a holiday would help actually. Not a traditional one. Holiday from my brain, anyone? Just... I don't know. I did kind of just unmask, like, doing the editing of the video just now, that for Madalada Munden, my little 22nd birthday celebration Tandy vlog. And I think this one will go on Madalada because it's talking about more to do with like conditions and stuff, but I didn't know whether to make it a Madalada Munden video or not. To be honest, probably should be a Madalada video, I think. It would also work on Madalada Munden because Madalada Munden is just anything, so we'll see. But I don't even know. Honestly, guys, I don't even know. I feel like my life would make a lot of sense if I have autism and ADHD. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I just... Ooh, ow. Oh, hold on. Oh. Yeah, I feel like... Okay. Okay. No. I think I've gone past my talking stage, really. Yeah, I think even my social battery for talking to this camera and myself has run out. I'm so burnt out. I'm so burnt out. I don't know how to recharge. Do you know when you do something that fuck. Try and finish your sentence. Oh, breathe. Right. Do you know when you do something that like you feel like would make you feel better, but it just doesn't? That's kind of what this video was, in a way. I thought I thought talking about it would make me feel better, but I guess it's good to talk, and I guess it's good to kind of I don't know. I do know, I just don't wanna word sentences out loud. I feel like that's why I struggle with like reading out loud. It's like getting it from in here to out in words is so much effort, and it's almost like translating what I mean in this jumble of thoughts to like words and sentences that make sense to other people. Because a lot of stuff I'll be like, that makes perfect sense in my head, and I'll say it out loud and be like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life. And I was making a list the other day for my like 22nd birthday hangout thing that 4 people turned up to. But oh, I find it funny, and sad, but funny. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, I was making a list of like things we need, things we have, like trying to organise this event, and I accidentally wrote I accidentally wrote instead of food we need, I wrote we need food. It was either the drinks. No, I think it was the drinks. I put we need drinks instead of drinks we need. Basically, one of the sentences that I wrote on the list was jumbled, And I realised it after proofreading it like 5 times. I was like, hold on a minute. That's not the sentence I meant. But I knew what I meant. But it got jumbled on the way out of my head, if that makes sense. And that happens a lot. I write the wrong words a lot. I say the wrong words a lot. I confuse people a lot because my brain, when it's in here, it makes sense. When it's out of my mouth, good. It's like a guesswork if it'll make sense. Except with maths. In here, it is a mess. Out loud, still a mess, but less chance because I can catch what I'm saying is wrong. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? But I feel like I was saying something and I can't remember what. I can't remember what the initial point was. I don't know. Oh yeah. I guess it is good to talk about like how you feel and stuff, and maybe someone will watch this and feel less alone, and maybe I'll feel less alone if somebody else gets what I mean. But I don't know. I'm honestly just so burnt out. And anybody sat here watching this video thinking, you're acting so weird. It's because I'm burnt out. And, you know, I'm a weirdo anyways. I'm a weird human being. But no, honestly, I'm just burnt out. And you might be wondering, why are you making this video? Honestly, I don't know. I think it's because I'm too burnt out for company. But I felt alone. And I wanted to talk, but I was too burnt out to talk to anyone. So I thought maybe talking here would be better. And I think it was for a while. But I'm just getting to the point where after the camera died, it was really like, oh, effort, you know? Like, oh, I have to finish this video that just... When I was in the flow of talking, it was fine, but after having time to think and unmask a little bit more and stuff, I'm just like, oh, I gotta finish this video, but, bleh, you know. I just think it's so stupid how, like, difficult the diagnosis process is and how difficult doctors are, and you have to ring up about every little thing, every separate appointment, and just it's so overwhelming because like I feel like people go, oh, get help if you need help, go see a medical professional, and I've said that on this channel before, whatever. Okay, if it's on Madalada Munden or Madalada, I agree, getting help is good. But also some things, it's just like, why do they make it so overwhelming and so difficult to reach out for help? You know what I mean? I remember that I only decided to go on the ADHD waiting list because I had a breakdown. I was on my art course and I had a breakdown. I couldn't focus, I couldn't do anything. I was just freaking out and having a breakdown. And I went to my college counsellor and they said, yeah, sounds like you have ADHD, and she said, yeah, definitely go see a doctor. And so I tried to, and that was just when I was 19, and I'm 22 now, and I've only just got some questionnaires back, and I hadn't heard anything since like I was like 20, and no, 21, 20, since I was 20, and it's just like, I was at my breaking point. I was at my breaking point like what? 5 years ago? No, not 5. My maths is bad, hold on. 4! No. 3, hold on. I was at my breaking point when I was 19, okay? I was already breaking down then. I was probably past that before then, but decided to just get help. And I was reaching out for help, and I've had to wait for so long, and I'm still waiting. So the thought of going on another waiting list, oh, you know what I mean? I get why they're so long. I understand. A lot of people want their help. I understand. I'm not trying to say that I deserve to be bypassed at the top of the list and I'm so important and blah blah blah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's incredibly frustrating how long I've been waiting. And so the thought of having to do that all over again for a waiting list that is probably even longer or the same size as the ADHD one. Oh my god, you know? And yeah, there's private healthcare, but do you think I can afford that? Jesus Christ, no. Like, it's just insane. The thought of going on another waiting list. Oh. You know? And it's like, well, try and do things to help yourself, Maddie, and it's like... funny, you know? Because the reason I was asking for help is because I need the help, you know? But, yeah. I'm just burnt out. And I'm tired. But my brain won't switch off. It never switches off, let's be real. It just does this all the time, and it's exhausting. I'm either barely processing anything or processing everything, and it's just exhausting, and I'm exhausted all the time. I have nightmares all the time. I have sleep troubles. I either sleep too much or too little. I either eat too much or too little. I do everything in extremes, and I'm painfully self-aware of that. And you're probably thinking, Maddie, if you're self-aware of that, why haven't you fixed the problem? Because you can be self-aware of something and still can't stop yourself. It's like watching myself behind a glass, being like, what are you doing? Or after the fact, after it's past, being like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a case of I'm self-aware so I can just stop. The camera ran out of storage. And it is now 48 minutes past 1. Monday, 26th of February 2024. Gonna be 2 in the morning soon. I should get some sleep. I got distracted. I should get some sleep. I should try and go in my own bed. Yes, that's what I should try and do. Because it's like near 2 in the morning. That's what I should try and do. Please follow at Madalada Munden -2 on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, goodbye guys, and thank you. Oh god, nearly destroyed the camera. Goodbye.